In October 2025, the NASA-SpaceX partnership was rocked by a public dispute over the Human Landing System, the critical lunar lander for Artemis III. What had once been hailed as a groundbreaking collaboration between government and private industry suddenly became the center of controversy as tensions spilled into the public eye. The Artemis III mission, which aims to return American astronauts to the moon for the first time in over half a century, depends entirely on the success of this lander. The stakes could not be higher, with the world watching and rival nations accelerating their own lunar ambitions. NASA's acting administrator, Sean Duffy, sharply criticized SpaceX for falling behind schedule, framing delays as a national security risk and warning that China could beat the US back to the moon. Duffy's words were not just a rebuke, they were a call to action, underscoring the urgency of the mission and the geopolitical stakes at play. Duffy's remarks shocked the aerospace community, casting doubt on the SpaceX-NASA alliance and raising fears of a faltering Artemis program. Engineers, scientists, and space enthusiasts alike began to question whether the partnership could withstand such public scrutiny and internal pressure. The Artemis program is more than science. It's a symbol of American leadership, innovation, and the enduring spirit of exploration. For many, the moon is not just a destination, but a proving ground for the nation's technological prowess and its ability to inspire future generations. SpaceX, holding the sole contract for the lunar landing, suddenly faced intense scrutiny and political pressure. Every delay, every technical setback became front-page news, with critics questioning whether a single company should bear so much responsibility for such a historic mission. With Artemis III scheduled for mid-2027, any disruption to HLS development threatened to delay America's lunar return. The timeline was already ambitious, and now, every day counted even more as the world's eyes remained fixed on the countdown. The public spat forced SpaceX onto the defensive, turning technical challenges into a high-stakes political battle. Debates erupted in Congress, on cable news, and across social media as the future of American lunar exploration hung in the balance. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the partnership's resilience and the nation's lunar ambitions, as both NASA and SpaceX faced their greatest challenge yet, proving that together, they could overcome adversity and lead humanity back to the moon. Sean Duffy escalated the conflict to a new level, taking his grievances public and calling for NASA to reopen the lunar lander contract, a move that sent shockwaves through the aerospace industry and the halls of Congress. Duffy argued that the original selection process was flawed, and that the nation would benefit from more competition, especially from established players who had previously lost out. This was, in effect, an open invitation for competitors like Blue Origin and other aerospace giants to re-enter the race, reigniting old rivalries and raising the stakes for everyone involved. But Duffy didn't stop there. He even floated the radical idea of moving NASA under the Department of Transportation, a proposal that stunned not only the space community, but also caught the White House off guard. Such a move would have fundamentally changed NASA's mission and its ability to operate independently. For decades, NASA's independence has shielded it from the shifting winds of political interference, allowing it to focus on science and exploration. Duffy's proposal threatened to upend that tradition, raising concerns about the future of American space leadership. The White House, already frustrated by the escalating public feud, saw Duffy's actions as a needless distraction from national priorities and a potential risk to America's leadership in space. Elon Musk, never one to shy away from controversy, fired back on social media. He openly mocked Duffy, accusing him of sabotaging NASA's progress and playing politics with the nation's future in space. The spectacle quickly spiraled into a political circus, dominating headlines and fueling heated debates on Capitol Hill. But Duffy's gambit soon began to backfire as public opinion shifted. SpaceX's strong, confident public response and the White House's cool, almost dismissive reception left Duffy increasingly isolated, with few allies willing to support his proposals. The idea of reopening the HLS contract was quickly dismissed as unworkable, especially given SpaceX's rapid progress and the technical milestones it had already achieved. As for moving NASA under the Department of Transportation, the proposal was dead on arrival, rejected by both lawmakers and agency officials who saw it as a step backward. In the end, Duffy's attempt to pressure SpaceX only served to highlight the company's immense political and technical clout, reinforcing its position at the center of America's space ambitions. The episode underscored SpaceX's status as a vital national asset, one that even the most determined political attacks could not easily undermine. SpaceX didn't argue. They built. When faced with criticism and skepticism, they didn't waste time on lengthy rebuttals or public statements. Instead, they let their actions speak for themselves, focusing on what they do best, building rockets and pushing boundaries. Just days after Duffy's pointed remarks, Starbase erupted with a new sense of urgency. The facility was alive with movement as engineers and technicians worked around the clock, and new human landing system hardware began to appear on the production line, signaling a clear response to the doubters. Mock-ups of the crew compartment and airlock were quickly spotted by observers, offering tangible proof that SpaceX was not just talking about lunar missions. They were actively building the future of human spaceflight. Analysts and industry insiders soon identified components specifically designed for the lunar mission, from specialized hardware to unique module parts, confirming that SpaceX was already deep into the next phase of development. Most notably, SpaceX showcased hardware for orbital refueling, the mission's toughest challenge. This technology is essential for reaching the moon, and its early appearance on the floor demonstrated SpaceX's commitment to solving the hardest problems first. Test tanks and intricate plumbing for cryogenic propellants were readied for rigorous trials, showing that SpaceX wasn't just planning. They were executing and making real, measurable progress. This visible surge in development was a direct rebuttal to claims of delay. The world could see the transformation happening in real time, as Starbase became a hive of innovation and productivity. The narrative shifted almost overnight. SpaceX was moving fast, and critics struggled to argue otherwise. Headlines began to reflect the undeniable momentum building at Starbase. Duffy, who had once questioned SpaceX's pace, was soon forced to walk back his statements as the evidence of progress became impossible to ignore. SpaceX's hardware-first response silenced political attacks and reaffirmed its indispensable role in Artemis. Their relentless drive and visible achievements made it clear that they were not just participants, but leaders in the new era of lunar exploration. In aerospace, progress is measured in steel, not sound bites. SpaceX's answer to criticism was simple: build, test, and let the results speak for themselves. The Starship Human Landing System is a purpose-built lunar lander, not just a repainted Starship. Nearly every system is re-engineered for lunar operations, from its thermal coating to its propulsion. Upgraded Raptor engines and high-mounted thrusters minimize lunar dust and ensure safe landings. Stretch propellant tanks, solar panels, and reinforced windows adapt the vehicle for multi-day lunar stays. The HLS lacks heat shields and flaps. It's never returning to Earth's atmosphere. Foldable landing legs provide stability on the moon's uneven surface. 2 docking ports enable crew transfer from Orion and orbital refueling. Every feature is tailored for one mission: landing humans on the moon and bringing them back safely. The biggest technical hurdle for Starship HLS is orbital refueling, a feat never attempted at this scale. SpaceX will launch multiple tankers to fill the lunar lander's tanks in orbit, a process critical for Artemis III. Starting in 2026, SpaceX plans a series of iterative tests with Starship V3, gradually increasing complexity. The goal: a full-scale refueling demo by the 17th to 20th Starship flight, proving the system end-to-end. Success will clear the way for an uncrewed lunar test, then the crewed Artemis III mission. SpaceX's rapid, hardware-driven approach aims to solve problems in flight, keeping the program on track. The NASA-SpaceX drama plays out against a bigger stage, a new lunar race with China. The US targets a 2027 crewed landing. China aims for 2030. China's Zhuke 3 rocket borrows heavily from SpaceX's designs, but it's still catching up. Musk notes that while China may copy Falcon 9, matching its reliability will take years, and by then, Starship will be operational. Starship's massive payload capacity could outpace China's entire launch fleet. America's edge is its leap-ahead technology and rapid development cycle. If Starship succeeds, the US can not only land first, but build a sustainable lunar base faster and cheaper. The race is about more than flags. It's about building a lasting presence, and Starship is the key. The political skirmish only underscored SpaceX's central role in America's lunar ambitions. Starbase's hardware progress silenced critics and showed that engineering, not politics, drives Artemis. SpaceX's real-world testing and rapid iteration set it apart from rivals. As China works to catch up, SpaceX is already moving beyond Falcon 9 with Starship. This generational leap is America's trump card in the lunar race. The path to the moon is being forged in South Texas, not Washington. SpaceX is leading the way, turning vision into reality, one launch at a time.